Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This will be my first ever video and I will make a tier list with ranged heroes. I am a ranged main, currently residing in 398 in JSR 2 right now and in JSR 1. I am sitting about 82 million might and 86 million kills. And I'm currently researching for tier 6, so yeah, whatever. So we can start off with the first two heroes, which I think will be the epic heroes. So first, Seojina, or now Nora. She's a D. She sucks. She deals some damage and she has some plus attack. Her awakening just gives her more buffs in this skill right here. Nah, 12%, it's nothing, it's not useful, you won't be using her during siege. This is what I like to call a 50% skill or a 30% skill, because you're not always going to be sieging. So sometimes this is a 0% skill because it won't be used. And then we have reduces counter damage taken, which is also basically a siege skill, but it can be used. But she is overall a bad hero. Next up is Akemi. Akemi I will put in C tier, because Akemi, she is better than Nora / Seojina. She has a 4200 damage factor, but she deals it to up to 3 enemies, which is 12,600, and she reduces travel speed both here and here, reduces enemy travel speed. Means that she could be used to get some riders in the early levels, but I would not use her if not necessary. Her next skill increases damage dealt to slow targets, which will be pretty often because of the reduced travel speed right here and the reduced travel speed right here. And she increases squad attack by 14%. Then she increases the squad's damage dealt to zombies. This is not relevant at all in the field. This won't be useful at all. So this is a 0% skill, I would call it. So she is not great. I would just put her in, up in front of Nora just because of the skill damage. Next up is Louis. I will put Louis in A+. Louis was my first kind of real hero, which I really committed to. He first deals some damage factor 10,000. When he's awakened, he deals 12,000. He deals it up to 5 enemies in a fan-shaped area, and when you awaken him, he does it in a circular area. Damage taken by each enemy squad reduces by 15% for every additional target enemy squad, which just means that he will deal less damage the more he hits. Next up, this increases skill damage by 30%, and he increases the HP of range squads by 10%. So this skill damage right here is very good. When you combine it with this 10,000 damage, it will go up quite a bit. And he has just additional HP of range squads when he's garrisoning. Just nice little buff if you need it, if you're garrisoning. He increases range squad attack by 30%. Very good. He's a ranged hero. Range deals the most damage, more attack right here. Perfect. And this is probably his biggest selling point, which is his additional 25 rage when he's using basic attacks, where he then deals in a minute around 1450 more rage, which is one additional rage skill, which is very good per minute, and that's or 1.5 per 1 minute. And yes, I talked about his awakening. So yes, he's an A+. You can use him, definitely very good as a starter hero, with him now finally coming to the police station right here. So Louis right here. Next up, we'll do Maya. Maya is pretty bad. I'll put her in C+ if there was one, but B. Maya right here, she deals 8,000 damage and increases range squad attack by 24%. This lasts for 3 seconds, just a little extra bonus, the 24% attack, but nothing significant. She increases range squad attack by 15% and travel speed by 15%. I guess you could use this compared to Lewis's 30%. This is not great. And she has an additional travel speed, which she also has here, but this is only when HP is lower than 50%. Her next skill, 4,000 additional damage every 10% of the basic attacks. This will be used a little bit, not a lot. Won't use her, she's bad overall. And her awakening, she just deals extra damage to infantry squad, so not great, not good. Wouldn't use her, wouldn't do anything to get her. Next up, we got Johnny right here. Johnny is a siege hero. He's here. He deals 12,000 damage and reduces target's healing effect by 40%, which increases to 13,250% of the healing effect. So use this against someone like Thunder Peterson, who has a 2,800 heal factor. This will be reduced then to 1,400 heal factor when he is awakened, which is pretty good, which can be used. When outside of Alliance territory, increases range squad attack by 30%. And the defense by 10%, which is a little buff. The 30%, the same as Louis, and the 10% defense, just a little bonus. Will make your reports a little better, but not significantly better. This one is kind of interesting. Increases skill damage by 3.5% every second, up to 38.5%. After assistant unleashes a rage skill, the buff will reset and stack again, which means that if, let's say, you combine him with someone like Jacob, just for example, when he gets 1,000 rage and uses his rage skill, Johnny Carey will then again reset down to then 3.5% and will go up every second. So if you were to use this or use this hero, I would pair him with someone like Chan, which requires 1,200 rage and not 1,000 rage. Next skill, during sieges, has a basic attacks has a 20% chance to deal an additional 3,120 damage or damage factor, which can be used. It will deal some damage, not a lot, but some. Overall, Johnny Carey is a pretty mid hero. I won't use him. I don't think I will spend anything to get him. If not, he gets an upgrade. So, but he is a little better than Maya, so I will put him in A. I'll put him in B in front of Maya, actually. Next up will be Bard. Bard is a new hero, introduced in 2 updates ago, I think. Bard right here, he is a siege as well. He deals a lot of damage, 13,000, and here he does 14,300. And when you get his skill transcended, it deals even more damage. Let's see. Yeah, still I don't know, 15,000 damage. So that is pretty huge. You can almost compare it to Victor's when awakened with garrisoning buff, 16,000 damage. Whatever. Deals damage up to 3 enemy squads in a circular area. Damage taken by each enemy target reduces by 15%. We saw this on Louis as well. If this skill kills an enemy squad, has a 50% chance to immediately recover 60 rage. This final skill here, enemy squad killing, it just a little bonus, you know. And the rage kill, very good. At least when you awaken him, deals 14,000 damage, goes down by 15%. But when you're sieging, this won't be anything huge, won't do much. Increases range squad attack by 30%. If the enemy is inflicted with silence, increases basic attack damage dealt to them by 21%. This is very good. The range squad attack, we saw this on Louis, in the increase in basic attack damage. If you pair him with someone like an awakened Julia and silences the enemy for 3 seconds, he will deal bonus damage, which is good, you know, will be used, will give you better reports. During sieges, increases range squad defense by 25% and HP by 25%. This is good because ranged, they don't have a lot of defense. They will be melted pretty huge, especially if you mess up the timing with the siege and he's the main target. He can last a little longer than someone like let's say Chun or Louis. Good, gives you better reports. And during rallies, increases skill damage dealt to garrison squads by 54%. So if you pair this with Louis, his 30%, you will get 84% skill damage increase. Combine that with the 14,300 and 12,000 damage factor from Louis, you will be dealing insane damage. But all damage taken from garrison squads is increased by 12.5%. This is, I think, the first time we've ever seen a debuff in a legendary hero, I think. But still, you can't complain when you get 54% more skill damage. Will definitely give you better reports, and that's kind of the main thing. So Bard, he is an S just because most of his skills are during sieges. Next up, we will do Jacob. Jacob right here. He's a garrison. He was launched together with Louis. He deals, when awakened, deals damage to up to 3 enemies with a damage factor of 13,750 in a fan-shaped area, and he increases counter damage by 28%. Damage taken by each enemy squad reduces by 15%. We saw this on both Bard and Louis. Still, 13,750 damage. Very, very good. Will do a lot of damage, and you will see it in the reports. Next skill increases range squad HP by 20% and increases all damage dealt by 7.5%. So the range squad HP 20%, it's not a lot, it's something, but HP is the best stat in the game. If you want to trade more positively, this will help you. And increases all damage dealt by 7.5. This is just a little bonus, not a lot, will do something. Increases all damage by 16% if the remaining squad size is below 50%. Well, it helps you deal more damage when below 50%, but this is also what I like to call a 50% skill, because this will only be used 50% of the time. Increases all damage to 20% if the remaining squad size is less than 30%. So this means that when he is below 50%, it will be 16%, but when he goes below 30%, it will go down to 20%. Pretty confusing. Will give you better reports, can't complain. So Jacob right here, he's an A. Not very good, not very bad. He will be used. Next up is Chun right here. I feel like the biggest thing about Chun is her rage required. She has requires 200 more rage than basically every other hero. I don't understand why the developers did that, but she does. She deals 12,000 damage factor, but when appointed as an assistant, she deals 50% of the damage, which I still don't understand why. But she also always needs to be the lead hero if you're going to use her. If not, you're going to lose half of your skill damage. When taking skill damage, restores 100 rage instantly. There's a 10% chance to inflict silence on the attacker for 3 seconds. We also saw this on Julia, where she inflicts silence. This can be paired with Bard, because he deals more damage when silenced. This effect triggers once every 6 seconds. So, nice little buff. Trigger rate 50%, which means that is also a 50% skill that will only be used 50% of the time. But still, the silence, it will help you. When in battle, increases range squad HP by 20%. We saw this on Jacob, and attack by 20%. So just two stat buffs. You won't complain about that. It will make your reports better. When leading a range squads only, increases skill damage by 25% and travel speed by 30%. So this will do something. It will give you more skill damage, and it will give you the travel speed, which is not common on ranged heroes. It will help you. I see that when I'm leading Lin and Chun, I'm walking a little faster, but I'm still working on those two. So I'm going for awakening her first, whatever. And then when she's awakened, she deals 13,000 damage, and she does 6,500 when posing as an assistant. And if only one enemy is hit, increases damage by 25%. So she deals damage to 2 enemies. When this is only 1, she will increase damage by 25%, which is pretty huge. We'll bump it up to around, like, I think 19,000. So overall, I will put Chun right here in front of Louis, but the rage required, it's a little is a little meh. I don't really know. Which, yeah, she is an A plus. Julia, she will go in the S tier. Julia right here, she deals 12,500 damage and she restores 100 rage to your squad. This also increases to 13,750 and 120 rage, and she silences the enemy. Increases range squad attack by 20% and range squad defense by 20%. We've seen this in a couple of heroes around now. So just a little buff will make your reports better. You won't complain about having it. Reduces damage taken from basic attacks by 20%. When rage is more than 90%, increases skill damage dealt by 17%. So more skill damage paired with Bard gives a little bit more skill damage, and she reduces damage taken from basic attacks, meaning that this is more of a rally hero because you will reduce the damage. But this can also be used in the field. It can be used in the garrison. It can be used everywhere. Increases range squad HP by 40%. There's a 60% chance of being immune to taking increased damage. So increases range squad HP by 40%. This will make your reports significantly better. This will help you a lot, and there's a 60% chance of being immune to taking increased damage. This is what I like to call a 60% skill because it will only be used 60% of the time. But again, really good hero. I use her, she's my main. And the final hero on the list is Lynn. Lynn is a field hero. Her first skill deals damage to the target, damage factor 11,700. If flanked when not rallying or garrisoned, deals additional damage to the current target, damage factor 3,000. This means that if she is on the field and if she's flanked, she will deal 14,700 damage, and she reduces the skill damage taken by 20% for 2 seconds, which helps her stay alive just a little longer. She increases range squad attack by 30%. If flanked when not rallying or garrisoned, increases range squad defense by 15%. Just a little bonus, you know, we've seen the range squad attack 30% many times, and she has a little bit more defense just to make those reports just a little bit better. Increases range squad HP by 34%. Counterattacks have a 20% chance to reduce all damage taken by 4.5% for 2 seconds. This effect can be triggered once in 4 seconds. So this is just a small little bonus. You won't see the difference, but it will help you, and it will make those reports just a little bit better, and that's what we're after. Increases counter damage by 32% and range squad travel speed by 20%. This travel speed can be paired with Chun, who also has a 30% travel speed increase. And the extra counter damage is just very nice to have, especially when you're out there on the field taking multiple people. As a rangeman, you will be taking multiple people, and you will just be dealing a little bit more damage to those people. The awakening skill is when in world map battles, increases range squad damage by 3%. If flanked when not rallying or garrisoned, reduces damage taken by 10%. So this is just another little bonus, will help you stay alive a little longer, make the reports a little better. So overall, Lynn, she is an SS hero, especially when paired with someone like Master Jin, who also has insane defense skills, and he also has a little of a heal factor just to help you stay alive a little longer, and he also has additional attack and rage recovery. So this is my tier list of the ranged heroes, the current ranged heroes, not including blue and green heroes. If you agree, let me know. If you don't agree, also let me know. Anyways, have a good day or night. Talonflame signing off.